Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article. It's from the Wall Street Journal. Now this was written on December 13th and updated on December 13th. And they actually did change the story because I saw this originally before they had updated it. And they actually took some stuff out of the article but left the tweets in that say what Trump was saying. It's actually kind of funny. It really is. So Trump attempts to distance himself from Michael Cohen's crimes. Now, I love the title because it actually is accurate on the note of they're Michael Cohen's crimes. Why would he need to distance himself from crimes committed by Michael Cohen? If they're Michael Cohen's crimes, then he's the guilty party. And the funny thing is what Cohen did was, and I've been saying this from the beginning, is they had to have had something on him that they were royally going to fuck him with. And then they said, oh, well, if you plead out to this shit, we'll give you a slap on the wrist. And even Trump is saying that in his tweets. And that's what they removed from the actual article. Because they don't want that out there, but they leave the tweets in. And it's like, are you serious? You leave the tweets in and don't think people are going to look at them. So we're actually going to look at the tweets too because they have them in the article. And you'll see what I'm saying here. So let's get into the article, though. It's written by Rebecca Ballhaus. Okay. President Trump sought Thursday to distance himself from his longtime fixer and former personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, who was sentenced a day earlier for crimes including some that prosecutors said the president directed Mr. Cohen to commit. Telling him to take care of something with personal funds is not a campaign finance violation, okay? He did it with his own personal money. There's the effects that it could have on his family, all right, on the note of the marital affairs or the supposed marital affairs, all right? So there's an actual private interest to that. But they keep ignoring that. Anyway, in private, Mr. Trump vented about investigators' scrutiny of him and his associates. People familiar with the matter said. While in an interview with Fox News, the president said Mr. Cohen was more of a public relations associate than a lawyer, saying he did low-level work for him. Now, you know what's funny about this? They have all these anonymous sources that talk about, Trump and what he's doing and everything else. And it's actually kind of funny because they never are able to actually produce a source. It's people familiar with him or anonymous source or, any which way that they can basically be like, well, we got this information, but you're never going to know who it is. And they expect us to fucking trust them. I mean, the Wall Street Journal, the same Wall Street Journal that went after PewDiePie, okay, and lied about him. The same Wall Street Journal that went after Ethan Ralph and the Ralph Report and pressured St. Jude into returning charity money because some people jokingly tweeted, shit like 1488, in their tweets and stuff like that. Or even if they were serious about it. All right, they're going to, pressure St. Jude's to not take money and deny kids treatment. All right. And then they go, oh, we're doing this for journalistic integrity. That's not journalistic integrity. That's activism. Okay. We don't trust you when you do shit like that. I don't. Then there's the fact of the hit piece you wrote, in general. I mean, you're fucking scumbags and you lie about why you're doing shit. You went after Ethan Ralph. You went after PewDiePie because they draw more people than you do consistently. On the note of, say, on a particular article on average, okay? Ethan Ralph, day in and day out, was getting 8,000 or more people watching him at a time on YouTube. That's pretty decent. PewDiePie put that to shame, but he was actually getting some traction, and you knew that would only grow more and more, and you were getting jealous of the fact that he was getting attention. Couldn't deal with that because you have to be the center of attention because you want to push this type of propagandistic bullshit. You don't want people to contradict your narratives. You don't want people to present alternative arguments. You don't want people to present evidence that backs what they're saying. Stuff like that. You don't want it. You don't want them to be able to do that. Mr. Trump also said that he never directed Mr. Cohen to violate the law, though he didn't explicitly deny ordering Mr. Cohen to arrange hush money payments during the campaign, for which Mr. Cohen pleaded guilty to breaking campaign finance law. Right, he pled out to something that he wasn't even guilty of because it was private funds, so not a campaign violation. He was a lawyer and he is supposed to know the law, Mr. Trump said on Twitter. It is called advice of counsel, and a lawyer has great liability if a mistake is made. That is why they get paid. He accused Mr. Cohen, who was sentenced Wednesday to 3 years in prison, of pleading guilty to the campaign finance violations to embarrass the president. And this is where they edited it. So now we're going to go over to the tweets here. Okay? And we're going to go through the tweets and then we'll go back to the article. So, I never directed Michael Cohen to break the law. He was a lawyer, and he is supposed to know the law. It is called advice of counsel, and a lawyer has great liability if a mistake is made. That is why they get paid. Despite that, many campaign finance laws have strongly stated that campaign finance lawyers have strongly stated that I did nothing wrong with respect to campaign finance laws, if they even apply, because this was not campaign finance. Exactly. You have legal fucking experts in campaign finance that have come out, multiple experts, even on the left, who begrudgingly had to admit, the ones on the left even had to begrudgingly admit he did not break campaign finance laws. So basically, Cohen pled out to something else that he was not guilty of to save his own fucking ass. Which, right here, Cohen was guilty on many charges unrelated to me, but he pled to 2 campaign charges which were not criminal and of which he probably was not guilty even on a civil basis. Those charges were just agreed to by him in order to embarrass the president and get a much reduced prison sentence, which he did not include the fact that his family was temporarily let off the hook. Yeah, exactly. As a lawyer, Michael has great liability to me. Yeah, exactly. Now, he actually, records his client illegally. You get all this shady fucking shit going on. All right, and we're supposed to try, we should believe Cohen. He illegally records his fucking clients, and we're supposed to believe him. Yeah, right. Especially when you have lawyers come out and say what Trump did was not illegal. Experts in campaign fucking finance law. Oh, shit. See how this is where they left that off, because they didn't want this other part here, all right, with the lawyers. Because he was talking about how he pled out, where is it? How Cohen was guilty on many charges unrelated to me. They had that in the article originally, and they got rid of it. Mr. Trump's criticism comes as Mr. Cohen's guilty pleas have escalated pressure on the president in recent months. No, they haven't. No, the only people going, we got you, are the fucking left still spurging out from 2 years ago. Shut the fuck up. Implicating him in federal... All right, president in recent months, implicating him in federal crimes and exposing the depth of his involvement in efforts to close a real estate deal with Russia while praising Russian President Vladimir Putin on the campaign trail. It's just Cohen's word on that. He has nothing to actually back him on that. Sounds to me like he's basically trying to sell out Trump on anything he can, whether it's factual or not, to save his own fucking hide. Makes complete sense, too. Cohen is a shady fucking New York City attorney. He'll do whatever he can to save his own fucking skin. And there was no actual implicating him in federal crimes, okay? Just because Cohen pled out to a campaign finance violation does not mean that Trump is guilty of one. You people can't distinguish that difference, though. Because pleading out and being found guilty are 2 different things. And Trump has not been found guilty of anything. Because if it went to court, they'd be like, it's his own private funds. The law is this. Fuck you. Unless you stacked the jury with fucking Democrat, butthurt Hillary didn't win fucking shitbags. Or Bernie bros. The campaign finance violations to which Mr. Cohen pleaded guilty in August related to payments he arranged during the 2016 presidential campaign to buy the silence of two women who said they had sexual encounters with Mr. Trump. Okay, still personal finances, not illegal. Last week, the federal prosecutor in Manhattan wrote that Mr. Trump, identified in the documents as Individual 1, directed and coordinated the illegal payments with Mr. Cohen. No, if he just said pay them, pay them for their silence, it's not directing him to make illegal payments. Trump didn't, Cohen as a lawyer, if they were illegal, should have said, hey, it's illegal. But it was personal finance and therefore not illegal. See, Cohen, he fucked himself. He was operating, outside the law, got caught, and he figured he'd sell out Trump to save his own hide. That's what's going on. But you don't want to report on that. The Wall Street Journal first reported a month ago the details of Mr. Trump's central role in the payments, including that he was involved in or briefed on nearly every step of the agreements. Well, which is it? This is what's fucked up. There were, oh, well, we were the first ones to bring this up. You didn't even know if he was fucking involved in that or if he was just coordinating the shit. So you didn't know anything. You knew nothing at all, and you're trying to sound like you actually broke the news. You didn't break shit. People close to Mr. Trump say he's worried about prosecutors' tactics and whether they could target members of his family. Now, wait a minute. Wouldn't you worry about that if you were in his shoes? Wouldn't you be a little worried and might have your blood boil a little bit to think about the prospect that they can't come after you, so they're going to go after your fucking kids? Trust me, if I was in his shoes and someone was going to go after my fucking kids, I would probably have less restraint than him. I would probably walk into Mueller's office and in the game of Minecraft and put his head through a fucking wall. Just saying. That would probably be me on a hypothetical situation if I was in his shoes. Just saying. I think that would be with most people in that situation if they were going to target the children. Even if your kids are grown up, they're still your fucking kids. And you don't let anyone fuck with your kids. And I love how they leave that human aspect out of this. The Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office is continuing to investigate the Trump Organization, which is headed by Mr. Trump's two adult sons. Yeah, and it's a legal business that they can, audit if they really wanted to, but they don't have any evidence to actually do an audit and look at the books, so they're trying to end run here. That's what it comes down to, because if they actually had any evidence, they could get a warrant and audit the company. They could seize the financial records of the company. If they had actual evidence, they could get a fucking warrant to do it, or they could subpoena for the records, and they'd have them. But they don't have shit, so they can't do it. At the same time, people close to the White House described the president as less consumed this week about the investigation than the media coverage of a contentious meeting he had with House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. Oh, God, I love how they're trying to spin this here. It's so fucking hilarious. He was annoyed with how that meeting was playing out, one person close to the White House said. You could literally watch the fucking whole meeting, okay? He wasn't annoyed with how the meeting was playing out. He was getting annoyed with Pelosi talking out her fucking ass, Chuck talking out his fucking ass, and just being stupid, spurging fucking idiots. All right? Trying to act like they're in charge and they're not fucking shit. Okay? I love this next part. Network shows have repeatedly played clips of Miss Pelosi correcting the president on how many votes he has in the House and on his characterization of her. First off, his characterization of her was the fact of she couldn't really speak up at the moment. Accurate characterization. I love how you try to make it sound like he was like bad-mouthing her. What he was saying was right at that moment, she really couldn't speak up. And from there, her correcting the president on how many votes he has, we're talking before the new term comes in, the new group of members of the House come in. Right now, he has the votes. So Miss Pelosi correcting the president was complete and total horseshit because he was talking about before the new term coming in. So guess what? This is why you are fake news, Wall Street Journal, because he does have the votes in the House right now. So why don't you talk to someone who actually will buy into your bullshit? Because if I can easily debunk you right now, because who has the majority in the House as of this moment? Republicans. He has the votes. You are fake fucking news. You are lying sacks of shit. He has the votes. Nancy Pelosi, he actually, if you watch the full thing, he actually corrects her on that. See, but they're not showing that part where he's like, at the moment I do, bitch. He didn't say bitch, but you know what I mean. It's like, oh, really? Oh, really, bitch? I have... Oh, shit. All right. I just dropped my mouse. I'll deal with it in a minute. I'll have to use my touchpad. But, so... that threw me for a loop here. I was on a roll. So, anyway... You have... You know, them trying to push this fake news shit. So then Newt Gingrich, former Republican House Speaker, said people around Mr. Trump are worried about the federal investigation into his campaign, business, and associates. I don't think they're worried the way that you're trying to make it sound. They're not worried about it, like on the note of, you know, they're going to find something, but you're trying to imply that. Nice try, though. Rudy Giuliani, a lawyer for Mr. Trump, described the president as disappointed by Mr. Cohen and the federal prosecutors, who Mr. Giuliani said had behaved improperly, because they did. They literally gave Cohen the incentive to plead out to a crime he was not guilty of by threatening major fucking shit that they were holding over his head. That is acting improperly. That is literally acting improperly. Okay? They got him to plead out to a crime he was not fucking guilty of. How is that even, you know, I mean, you can't say that's acting properly. People around him all feel this is a very real concern. These guys play for keeps, Mr. Gingrich said. Asked if Mr. Trump mentions Mr. Mueller's investigation in conversations, Mr. Gingrich added, "Sure, of course he does. How could you not? Imagine if it were your life and it's on page one every single day." Well, yeah, he's going to talk about it, but they're probing for shit. You know, were they really going to find anything? That's the question. And when they're talking to Gingrich, probably not, like the whole Russia thing. The president told Fox News that in retrospect, it was a mistake to hire Mr. Cohen, who said he did a favor for him more than a decade ago. Mr. Cohen's relationship with Mr. Trump had blossomed in 2006 as he rallied to the developer's side in a dispute with a condo board at Trump World Tower. Yeah, basically Cohen tried to weasel his way in. And he managed to do it. And it came back to bite Trump in the ass. Shortly after Mr. Cohen's sentencing, prosecutors publicly disclosed that American Media Inc., the National Enquirer's parent company, had also admitted to coordinating with the Trump campaign and making one of those illegal payments. You have no proof that the payments themselves were illegal, but yet you are trying to say that they are illegal. Because guess what? The money didn't come from the campaign, therefore not illegal. So you're kind of wondering why people look at you as fake news. Okay, literally. I've looked at what the experts said. The campaign finance experts, like lawyers and shit. I've actually looked into this. Have you? They said it came out of his personal finances. All right? It might not look good, but it's not illegal. So go fuck yourselves. And even if they paid the money, it's, again, still not illegal. The company said the purpose of its $150,000 payment to a former Playboy model in August 2016 was to quash her story of an affair with Mr. Trump to prevent her from influencing the 2016 election, not for legitimate editorial reasons, as the company previously said. Where's their exact quote of that? I would love to see where they exactly said that, okay? I would love to see where they actually said those specific words. And even if they did that, it's still not illegal. But you're trying to say it is here. It's not illegal. Mr. Trump told Fox News, "I don't think we made a payment to American Media for its purchase of a former Playboy model story of an affair with Mr. Trump." Okay. So if they didn't pay him, again, not illegal. They basically paid $150,000 and they bought a story they didn't run. Not illegal. Don't know what to tell you. A secret recording Mr. Cohen made of a conversation with Mr. Trump in September 2016 shows the two men discussing a plan to buy back the rights to the model story from American media, although they ultimately didn't. Okay, yeah. So again, they didn't pay for it, and even if they did, it would have been from personal finances of Trump. Again, not illegal. Not only that, all right, you leave out the fact that that was an illegal conversation, a disbarable offense, what Cohen did in regards to recording Trump. I love how you leave that out. Mr. Cohen last month also pleaded guilty to lying to Congress about efforts to build a Trump Tower in Moscow during the 2016 campaign, saying he lied to minimize Mr. Trump's involvement in the deal. Oh, really? Well, considering the other people who have testified in regards to that have been proven that they've been factually correct, that means, looks like if he lied, he did it for whatever fucking reason, but odds are he didn't. Because everything's been checking out on what other people have testified to in regards to that. In August, he pled guilty to 5 counts of tax fraud. Yeah. Oh, that wasn't a fucking factor? 5 counts of tax fraud. You know, they just wiped that away, and that wasn't a fucking factor to him pleading out to this other shit. Yeah, right. Likely fucking story. Mr. Cohen has spent more than 70 hours meeting with special counsel Robert Mueller's investigators, who are probing whether Trump associates colluded with Russia's efforts to interfere with the 2016 U.S. election. Oh, you mean the $100,000 of Facebook ads that all you fuckers have been able to prove at this point that were shown after the election? Go fuck yourself. Seriously. $100,000 worth of Facebook ads. That's interference. After the election. Okay. Mr. Trump has denied collusion, and Moscow has denied election interference. Mr. Mueller has obtained guilty pleas from at least 4 other Trump associates. And I love how they do that. But none of them have to do with Russia. Okay. You have, because of the bullshit law that, you know, quote unquote, lying to the FBI. All right. That's what you got people on. That's what those 4 people got fucked on. Okay. Because they said one thing, and that was to their recollection. That's how things were. And then found out things were a little bit different. It wasn't even like they completely lied or it was a misstatement. They might have, and one was not, it wasn't even that far off from what it had actually happened. And they got fucked. Yeah, that's what they got guilty pleas on. Lying to the FBI when it wasn't actually lying, pretty much. Because it was saying one thing and misstating a fucking date, and then they find out the date was different, and it's like, oh, you lied to the FBI. It's like, no, I made an honest mistake. It's called human error. Nope, you lied to the FBI. It's an ironclad case because the law is written, plead the fuck out. And that's exactly what happened with, who was it? Oh, shit. Who was it? Someone put in the comments which one that was, because I can't fucking think off the top of my head, but it was literally a misstatement of a date, and they went after him on it. But yeah, I mean, this is some fucked up shit. They don't want to look at the fact that Cohen had all these other charges against him, and he pleads out to this shit and gets a fucking 3-year slap on the wrist. I mean, that should raise some major red fucking flags. Even to the Kool-Aid drinking, Democratic far left types. It should fucking be a wake-up call. That shit stinks here. I mean, this is ridiculous. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.